So we start off in the kitchen. It had this little breakfast nook, and down the hallway is the laundry room. You can kind of take a peek in there. Through this doorway was the formal dining room. There was a big wall separating it, just felt very small. As you can obviously see, there's disgusting stained paneling all over the walls and horrible carpet everywhere. This is the formal living room with a beautiful fireplace and some gross tiles stuck onto it. There's a doorway leading into the hallway, continued that carpet through there, some new nasty carpet, continued paneling in the downstairs bedroom, a good-sized step-in closet, two sides to use, and then down the hallway we have a little coat closet in the hallway, decent sized. There was this little linen closet that you saw there in the hallway. Bathroom wasn't in too bad of shape, just not fantastic. So linoleum on the floor, old medicine cabinet, that kind of stuff. So the first thing we did as soon as we got our keys was rip up the carpet. We had seen that there was some hardwoods underneath and we really wanted to see what shape they were in. And then this is the next day. Bridget came in and cleaned up all the carpet and rolled it all up and got it out of the house. The hardwoods were in pretty good shape underneath, quite a bit of water damage in the corners. We were able to patch that in with the new stuff. And then the next thing we did was we started taking down the paneling. And this is when our not so good surprises started. As you can see, there's a few holes in the wall right there, and those are actually chewed by rodents, we believe rats, because you'll see why later. But there was probably about 35 of these all throughout the house, and it was in this material called beaver board. It's basically wood particle board instead of drywall, and so we had to take all of that down. It was a pretty arduous process and quite difficult. So first we had to take down all the paneling, and then once we got the paneling down, we started taking the beaver board down, but it just came off in dinner size plate or smaller, maybe tea plate chunks, and it was just really difficult and took quite a long time and was pretty frustrating. So yeah, the paneling though was pretty fun to take down. Came off in nice big sheets and got rid of all that staining, which was nice. So also, as you can see here, there's some seams in the ceiling that are sagging. We later found out that those that the ceiling contains asbestos, and so instead of getting to drywall that over, we had to cover them up with beadboard, which is you'll see later on in the video, but just wanted to explain that a little bit. This is one of many cleaning videos that I have. There was so much cleaning up to do. Demo takes not much time, but the cleanup takes a lot of time. Here's a video of my dad, who's an engineer, and my husband, Bridger, who is also an engineer, determining and then taking down the wall between the kitchen and the dining room. They determined that it was non-load bearing, and we also got a structural engineer certification for that later on. So here's another cleanup video. Lots of paneling to take to the dump. We have certainly lost count of the amount of times that we've gone to the dump, and I think, probably 4 months ago I said, I think this is going to be our last dump run, and we've probably done at least 5 more since then. So it's never the last one, even when you think it will be. So always more cleaning to do, and there's just always dust just coming out of the woodworks in our house. So if you are squeamish, this is your warning. Some nasty things coming up. That is a wasp's nest, and that is a mummified rat. So the wasp's nest took up an entire bay underneath the window, so it was pretty large. There was no wasps in it, and then the rat was above that same window, so pretty nasty corner of the house. But thankfully there's no signs of active rodents in the house. We haven't seen anything, haven't seen any droppings or anything like that, so they are long dead and gone. Here's the beadboard that I was talking about, putting up on the ceiling to cover up some of the sags and ugliness. We painted kills underneath it first. This video is showing how horrible of shape the hardwoods in the bedroom were. We were hoping to use those hardwoods to patch into the kitchen. but unfortunately they were unsealed, and so they had quite a bit of water damage and just mold and stuff growing underneath. So here you see Bridger patching the subfloor in the hallway in order for us to start putting in these hardwoods. We just got the same width and wood type as the originals and patched them in, and then we sanded it all down later on. The reason that the hardwoods were gone from the hallway and the kitchen is there was linoleum over the top of them, and the mastic that they used to stick the linoleum down, as usual, had asbestos in it, and so we were unable to, when we had that professionally removed, they were unable to leave the hardwoods as the mastic was stuck to it, so they had to take all of it with them, and so we were stuck patching, but I think it turned out pretty well. Even right now you can see that they match up pretty well, and then once we stained them down and sanded them down and stained them, they match almost perfectly. So here we're starting in the kitchen. Putting down hardwood is really fun. If you ever have the chance to, that big gun is fun to smack around, and very satisfying and pretty quick work once you get into the big spaces. So here you can see our cute little dog, and when we were able to put up all the insulation, by this time we had decided to hire out somebody to install our drywall for us and tape and mud it. We were just so tired, and we knew that somebody else would be able to do it much faster than we would be able to, and much better, and so that was well worth the money for us to spend. So we had to insulate before he could put up the drywall, and so we did that, and once the drywall was up and the insulation, the house was thankfully much warmer. This was kind of in the middle of winter, right before Christmas, and so the house was warmer and much quieter. You couldn't hear any more road noise anymore. Not that it was super loud before, but it just almost felt like my ears were plugged the first time I went in there, but I'm happy with it now. So he did a nice smooth coat. He did a wonderful job on the arches. This was an original arch, and then we added 2 additional arches to kind of match the aesthetic and kind of move them along. So this is the other thing that we had professionally done. We had a carpet installed in the downstairs bedroom. It was wonderful to walk barefoot and beautifully done. Here you can see us preparing to taping off the bathroom in order to prepare for self-leveling concrete, which is the next photo that you'll see, and then I was able to tile over that. That was a heated tile mat. Here are the hardwood floors sanded down. They already matched like pretty well, but you could see the aged wood was a little darker. So then we stained over it with dark walnut by Minwax, and we're so happy with the color. It's beautiful. It's excellently done. Here putting up some of the trim to cover up the seams of the beadboard on the ceiling, and I just am in love with the results of how this all turned out. This is before even caulking and painting, but it just looks so polished and clean and adds so much character. So we're very happy with that decision, and lots of people doubted us when we were putting it up and said that we could change to drywall eventually, but we're happy with the decision and probably will not do that for a while. So here's into the kitchen and the dining area. Well done. And then we started putting up window trim. I tiled the shower, and then we got to put in our cabinets in our kitchen. They're from a company called Lily Ann. They're from online, and they send out you have to assemble the cabinets, but they turned out beautifully, so highly recommend those. The original countertops were tiled in this fashion, but in avocado green, and so we wanted to bring that character back into the house, but not have the avocado green. So we tiled up the counters, and they're beautiful. We put in the kitchen sink. So that's the end of the video. I believe the rest of what we have to show you is more finishing pretty stuff, so I wanted to make a different video for that. Stay tuned and let me know if there's anything else that you would want to see from us. Thanks. Bye.
He'll be home soon.